Good morning, children. Today we shall discuss about the rules of marriage. It is the continuation of the same chapter. There are certain rules regarding marriage. The first rule is exogamy. It means marriage outside certain groups. Second rule is endogamy. It means marriage within certain groups. Third is cross cousin marriage. Fourth is parallel cousin marriage. Levirate, sororate, anuloma, which is also called hypergamy, and pratiloma, which is called hypogamy. Along with this, we shall discuss their advantages and disadvantages. Let us begin with the first rule of marriage, that is exogamy. What is exogamy? We can say that it may be defined as a social rule that prohibits a person from marrying within a defined social group which he is a member. For example, a Hindu person has to marry within his own group. All people prohibit marriage between individuals sharing certain degrees of blood or affinal relationship, and this is known as exogamy, that is marriage outside the group. A man must not seek a wife out of his own clan but also must avoid the clans of all the grandparents. Means the marriage is avoided within the blood groups. For example, the marriage of parents with their children is universally prohibited. Then the marriage of brother to real sister is also prohibited. In the same way, there are some groups like Gotra, Pravar, village, and Pind where marriages are not allowed. So let us discuss about the different forms of exogamy. The first form of exogamy is called Gotra exogamy. Among the Hindus, the prevailing practice is to marry outside the Gotra, means clan. People of the same Gotra are believed to have similar blood, and so their intermarriage is prohibited because they think that they all are related to each other by the same blood. Then second form of exogamy is called Pravar exogamy. Pravar is a kind of religious and spiritual bond. People who utter the name of a common saint at religious functions are believed to belong to the same pravar. Marriage between persons belonging to the same pravar is also forbidden, especially among the Brahmins. Then the third form of exogamy is village exogamy. Among many Indian tribes, there is the practice to marry outside the village. This restriction is prevalent in Munda tribes and other tribes of Chota Nagpur of Madhya Pradesh. Naga tribes also practice village exogamy, and the residents of a particular place cannot intermarriage. Why? Because the village people are generally considered as brothers and sisters. The last form of exogamy is Pind exogamy. What is meant by Pind? Pind means common parentage. According to Brihaspati in Hindu mythology, offsprings from 5 maternal generations and 7 paternal generations are supint and they cannot intermarry. In Hindu society, marriage within the pind is prohibited. So these are the 4 kinds of exogamy. This exogamy rule has certain advantages and disadvantages. The first advantage is exogamy is approved from biological point of view because it leads to healthy and intelligent children. Second advantage is development of national unity and integrity. It is a progressive form of marriage because it spreads the network of relationship between other castes, other groups, and in this way it helps in the development of national unity and integrity. Third advantage of exogamy is absence of erotic feelings. Erotic feelings means the sexual feelings. And according to Westermark, the most important cause of exogamy is the absence of erotic feelings or the presence of sexual indifference between nearly related persons. So all these are the advantages. Now let us discuss disadvantages of exogamy. The first is very limited selection. When the definition of a group is made broader and wider, quite a large number of people cannot marry within the same group. So the circle of selection becomes very limited. Then second disadvantage, this rule encourages dowry and social evils. Why? Limited choice of selection encourages dowry and other social evils. Now the second rule of marriage is called endogamy. What is endogamy? It is a social rule that requires a person to marry within defined social group of which he is a member. For example, if you are a Hindu, means you belong to the group of Hindus and you are expected to marry within Hindus. If Christian, then within Christian community. Likewise, there are many other groups. Sometimes restrictions are imposed that the other partner is to be selected from the same caste or class to which the first partner belongs. Marriage within the class or caste is known as endogamy. In India, a Brahmin can marry only a Brahmin, and not only that, he can marry only a Brahmin of his own subcaste. In the same way, a marriage of a Vaishya with a Brahmin is not socially approved. So there are many different forms of endogamy, like the group of tribe, the group of caste and subcaste, class, race, etc. Let us discuss the forms of endogamy separately. The first form of endogamy is tribal endogamy. In this type of endogamy, no one can marry outside his own tribe. There are many tribes in India like Munda tribe, Toda tribe, Naga tribes, Khasi tribes, and they all are expected to marry within their own tribe. Then second form is caste endogamy. In this type, marriage should take place within the caste. Then the third form of endogamy is subcaste endogamy. In this type of endogamy, choice for marriage is restricted to the subcaste. For example, in Christians there are 2 groups, Roman Catholics and Protestants. In Hindus, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. and they are having their more subcastes. In Muslims, Shias and Sunnis, and they all have to marry within their own subcaste. Then third is class endogamy. It is an economical group, status group. So in this form of endogamy, marriage is contracted between people of one class or of a particular status. The last form of endogamy is race endogamy, means the people of the same physical characteristics, like Chinese, like Indians, like Negroes. In this form, people can marry within the same race by preventing marriages outside the group endogamy. It has some advantages. First advantage of endogamy is it preserves the group's homogeneity because same people of same culture marry with each other. Second is it protects its prestige and status of a person. Third, it maintains the numerical force of its group, means the population of the same group increases. It preserves the purity of the group. It keeps women happier because she is familiar with the group norms. So all these are the advantages, but it has some disadvantages also. Like first is it limits the sphere or area of mate selection, means a person has limited choice. Second, it lays emphasis on group feeling, which creates communalism and checks the growth of national unity. Third, it encourages casteism. Fourth, it encourages hatred and jealousy among different groups. And lastly, it encourages dowry and also the bride price. After exogamy and endogamy, there are other rules. Third is cross cousin marriage. What is cross cousin marriage? The marriage between father's sister children and mother's brother's children is called cross cousin marriage. Next rule of marriage is parallel cousin marriage. Under this rule, marriage is performed between the children of same-sex siblings. For example, children of two brothers or children of two sisters can marry with each other. Next rule of marriage is called levirate. What is levirate? If a man dies, his wife is inherited by the brother of deceased husband, and sometimes husband and his brother marry and enjoy a girl collectively. So this practice of being actual or potential mate to one's husband's brother is called levirate. Means in Hindi we can say the marriage between Devar and Bhabhi after the death of brother or husband. This levirate is generally found in most of the societies. Now the next rule of marriage is called sororate. What is sororate? The practice of being actual or potential mate to one's wife's sister is called sororate, and in most of the cases where bride price is taken, the bride's family commits itself to compensate the in-laws of their deceased daughter with a living one. So again in Hindi we can say it is a marriage between Jija and Sali. Both the levy rate and sororate have some advantages. The common advantages they have, like it allows widow remarriage, means a widow gets a chance to remarry. Second, the widow gets social security within her known family. Third advantage is this type of widow remarriage secures the children of the inter-family. And lastly, it strengthens the inter-family unity. Then there are some more rules of marriage. Two more are there. Hypergamy, which is also called anuloma, and the last is hypogamy, which is called pratiloma. What is hypergamy or anuloma? A man marrying a woman of lower caste is called hypergamy. On the other hand, if a woman marrying a man of lower caste is called hypogamy or pratiloma. In hypergamy, the man is of high caste, and in hypogamy, the woman is of high caste. Both the marriages have some examples. I can give you the example of anuloma. In Hindu community, there are mainly 4 varnas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. If the boy is Brahman and he marries the girl of either of Brahman society or from Kshatriyas or from Vaishya or from Shudra, this marriage will be called anuloma or hypergamy. In this marriage, the woman gets the higher status. Suppose the woman is Shudra and she is marrying a boy of Brahman caste, then she also becomes Brahman, and the children are also called the children of a Brahman. But in pratiloma, the girl is of high caste and the boy is of low caste. Suppose the girl belongs to a Kshatriya family and she is marrying a boy of a Shudra family, then the status of the girl comes down and the children are not called the children of a Kshatriya woman, but they are called the children of a Shudra man. So here the status of the girl comes down. Then these marriages have some consequences. Let us discuss the consequences of such marriages. Which marriages? The anuloma or hypergamy and pratiloma means hypogamy. The first consequence is these type of marriages, especially anuloma, where the boy is of high caste or the man is of high caste, it leads to certain consequences. Like first one is, it leads to the trend of child marriage. To marry the daughter in high caste was considered prestigious. So the parents of girls try to marry their daughters at a very early age for the fear of losing the opportunity. Second consequence is, it spreads the polygamy. The logic of hypergamy led polygamy. The father of the groom and his family treated marriage as an occupation, and for this reason the girl's father had to give a huge dowry to marry her into a high caste. For example, in Bengal, a high caste Brahman married up to 20 girls. So it leads to polygamy. Then it spreads dowry system. For the want of sending the girl to a high caste man or high caste family, the parents of the girl are ready to give heavy dowry. Then unmatched alliances. Again, the same thing comes for the want of sending their daughters to high families. Sometimes the parents get ready to marry their daughters with the old age people also. So it results in unmatched alliances. Then pratiloma marriage is also having some consequences like it increase the social problems like suicides and prostitution and family breakdown, because generally the parents don't get ready that their daughter is marrying a low caste person. Then another consequence of pratiloma marriage is the status of the woman comes down. Because of hypergamy marriage, marrying a girl became a big problem which led many people to kill the girl child at birth. This type of marriage is the biggest factor in reducing the status of women. Then other consequences of pratiloma is the children born out of hypogamy, means pratiloma marriage, have no caste, because the woman of higher caste marries a man from a lower caste. Then another consequence or disadvantage is that children from such marriages lost property rights from both sides. They had no right on property from the father's side or mother's side. So generally this type of marriage, means pratiloma or hypogamy, is always discouraged. So we have discussed all about marriage.